SoFloRadio.com, and SoFloTelevision.com.
Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age in class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze. By the glass.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to By the Glass, and thank you for joining us in this wonderful show about beverage culture. We come to you every Thursday at 6 on SoFlo Radio and ByTheGlassShow.com. And what a wonderful show we have this evening. I'm joined by Ivan Bad on the board.
Yes, I am.
And, you know, I'm very, very, very happy and very proud to have Mr. Bob Gordash, Florida Brewing Company, beer company. And
thanks for having me.
Corey's going to kill me. I messed that up. And, of course, John Lynn from Funky Buddha. Thank you so much for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having me.
You know, it's a great show because it's part of our Drink Local series event that's continuing on. I think we started the first Drink Local in 2011 with Bob Gordash, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, so you're actually coming full circle. Back then you were Holy Mackerel.
Right.
But nonetheless, one of the great brewers of South Florida, one of the guys who brought it in, got it going, and we had good times back then, and it's continuing on. And things are really, it's amazing, you know, when we talk about things coming full circle and full stream and all the great events going on, because this is South Florida Beer Week. It does happen January 18th to 25th every year, and it's always accumulated, at the accumulation of as a Jupiter Craft Beer Fest, which is a great event going on up in Jupiter on Saturday. And we're going to have Mr. Fran Andrulovich call in. He's the man that makes it all happen, the mind, the myth, the legend behind the event, and he's going to be calling in a little later to talk to us about it and give you all the pertinent information that's necessary for you guys to go up there and just have a wonderful time, because it's just a plethora of great beers and a lot of good information, because, you know, craft beer, as we all know, is hot. I mean, we've had Ryan on the show from Funky Buddha numerous times, been kind enough to come down to the studio. But we've also done live interviews at festivals when you guys were, just had the brew pub and then you were going to get ready to open. It's kind of like we did a chronological order of the growth of the brewery, interviewing Ryan throughout different times.
Yeah, it's been a long, strange trip, I guess.
Yeah, to quote the Grateful Dead, it certainly has. But it's been amazing. And the good thing is that over the last 3 years, By the Glass Show has existed. And it's been a great 3 years to exist in South Florida, because we've got a really nice cross-section of what's going on in the craft beer world down here. And, of course, it's all archived on ByTheGlassShow.com. So you can go back to my show pages and just pick and choose. I got like 200 shows on there, and it's just great stuff. We got Florida Beer Company. We've got Jim Masoni calling in. Like I said, we have Ryan and Casey. I've done live from Funky Buddha. We've had Mike Hawker call in from Due South. Definitely we're going to try the Mariana Trench tonight, which is a beer of some major depths, so to speak. A really amazing imperial stout from what I've heard. We're looking forward to that. But I think, the really cool stuff is that everybody comes back in and it's all come full circle. And what's going on with Florida Beer Company as far as the new facility, what's going on with Funky Buddha as far as just like a little kid outgrowing his PJs, man. These guys are like out of control. We got all the new latest information. We've got all the feedback from the really great events that have been going on all week, and it's just going to be a wonderful time here. And we have beers that no one's ever tried. We got some beers that rate top beers of the world. So I'm extremely excited for everybody joining me. Thank you so much for joining us here on By the Glass Show. All right, so let's crack right into it, because it's just chock full. We're gonna start out with some beers from Florida Beer Company. But while you're talking about the beer, why don't you meld in a little bit of what's going on in Canaveral, man, the port?
Okay, well, it seems like we've been talking about the new brewery opening forever.
Yeah, right.
Well, now we're open. 60,000 square foot facility in Cape Canaveral's up and running, producing a ton of beer. No problem with production, no production issues whatsoever, and producing just really good, clean beer.
John, you going to get in trouble if you drink that?
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding.
No, of course not.
No, actually, this is one of my favorite beers that just came out on tap from you guys.
Yep.
And when you say clean beer, what do you mean by that? I talk to me about some of the equipment that goes into clean beer and what the difference is.
Well, I mean, everything's very consistent now. We got, it's just amazing. We got some really good brewers. We have Luke Erdodi now as our head brewer. He used to be with locally with Gordon Biersch.
Gordon Biersch,
yeah,
right?
Gordon Biersch. He's worked with Mendocino Brewing Company. Just a fantastic guy and really keeping things ship shape, keeping things clean. Every beer is consistent that's coming out of there. Just incredible stuff going on. When I started with the company 8 months ago, one of the shocking things to me was that we didn't have this beer on draft, the Key West Southernmost Wheat, because I just think it's a great Belgian style wit. We do something unique in it, using real Florida key limes in it, makes it different. And it's just you can taste that Belgian bready character in there,
right.
And then you also get the tartness from the yeast, from the Belgian wit yeast, and also from the key limes as well. So we finally got it in the market now on draft, and it's starting to show up in a lot of places, and I'm real pleased with that.
It's a nice alternative to the big conglomerates, the mass-produced stuff. Just from looking at it, if we look at the appearance first, it's a beautiful, nice straw to golden, and definitely works well. Hey, it's interesting. You can see with the head how it's completely different consistency. Weissens and Weiss beers tend to be, different volumes of CO2 from the way that their heads are. Nice lacing on the glass and really wonderful appearance. So you can tell right off the bat that some of the problems you've had of old with certain beers, that stuff's just gone.
Yeah,
it's a brand new Florida beer company.
Once you see this place, you're gonna be shocked how beautiful it is, how clean it is, and some of the equipment that we have. It's a 90-barrel brewing system. We have a 500-barrel fermenter, which I'm really not sure what we're putting in that right now.
A spaceship, maybe?
You guys like in there with a motorcycle going around in circles?
Yeah, it looks like it belongs in the Space Center. I mean, the thing is huge.
Speaking of the Space Center, you're right there at the Port Canaveral.
Exactly.
How does that work with cruise ships?
Well, you can walk to the cruise ship. I mean, it's
Really?
amazing. So, I mean, we're hoping to getting a lot of those people off of the ships and into our tasting room. And that's really the only thing that isn't open yet, but we're hoping probably about a month. The tasting room should be open. It's going to be pretty awesome. I think it's about 5,000 to 6,000 square feet just in the tasting room alone. And you can, kind of like Funky Buddha, you can look out the windows and see the entire brewing and the bottling line. It's pretty awesome.
Fantastic. It's so exciting. And it brings me back. You mentioned it, Funky Buddha. What a great tasting room.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a big focus, making the tasting room accessible and for everyone, someplace people could come.
It's such a hit. I know people that travel far and wide to go there and drink. And what you've done is you've really brought this essence back to what craft beer is supposed to be. It's people's local beer. They can go and have a beer there and just feel like they're part of something. And really, like Bob said, you can see right through and actually see it being made. And it brings a whimsical passion back to the whole aspect of it.
It's a connection to the community, and that's really the
Yeah.
important part of brewing. I mean, that's what gives you the emotional impact of what you're drinking, that this is from around the corner. You can not just know that it is, but you can visit it. And I think the tap room is such an integral experience to any brewery, especially in the state of Florida, and hopefully, with all the legislation that's going on, will stay that way.
Yeah, and very successful too, which is a huge part of what it is you guys. Look, it's a business at the end of the day, right? Talk to me about the tasting room a little bit. I know that you guys up there. I mean, it's one of the center points of the brewery up in Canaveral.
Yeah, it's very ocean-like. We got hanging sharks all around the bar. I mean, it's very ocean-like. It's just very tropical, very relaxing. The equipment that the packaging, that what do you call the boxes, crates that the brewing equipment came in, is wrapped around the bar. And
that's an interesting
it's pretty
concept.
awesome. So it's kind of rustic at the same time. It's going to be just a beautiful place, but it's also going to be a place where the tourists are going to feel at home as well, coming off the ships and so forth.
So you're going to have tourists coming off cruise ships and touring the brewery?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good. We're hoping to have some kind of arrangement there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The other thing I forgot to mention too, the Southernmost Wheat obviously is unfiltered. You can see that.
Yeah.
But actually now with the new equipment we have, the centrifuge, we're not filtering anything. Everything is just run through the centrifuge and spun.
Talk to me about a centrifuge for people at home that don't know. I know it's like a grab. George, remember when you used to go and eat a bunch of candy corn and then get on the gravity?
Last weekend on the Gravitron.
Yeah, right, and throw your guts
took the
up.
kids on there.
Oh, really?
No,
Where
that's
were you
not
at?
the one that throws me up, man.
Really?
That's
Which
the
one is
zipper,
it?
The zipper. But back to centrifuges.
The zipper. I figured when you would tell a
one that
story
turns
about
up-
a zipper, it wouldn't have anything to do with carnival
It's
rides.
a classic. It's the one that goes upside down, in the cage, and people puke on it all the time. It's a classic puker.
It's the one to
But
stand away from.
Back to centrifuge. Is that
Yeah.
a big thing? I mean, I never, because I'm curious about that.
It's a very big, expensive unit that. I wish I wish Corey was here because he could explain it. He listens to all this stuff, but
Jeez, he might have to call in later and
but
explain
I
it.
can tell you, there's very few breweries in the United States that have this piece of operation. It just spins the beer at so many
RPMs, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's kind of like a big gravitron, and it
Yeah.
just like kind of
Has
sucks
all the
out all of
sediment
the
drop out of the beer.
It's kind of like a whirlpool to the 10th level, and
Right.
it pulls everything out of the beer and keeps it clear. Which is, it's very interesting because basically the filtration takes so much out of the beer, but
Right.
this is completely different to where you don't have to filter anything; it just naturally emanates. So
And
that's
you don't have any
fantastic.
waste either.
Yeah.
That's the big thing too. So
Yep.
you're gonna save money over
Yeah.
time.
And it can be fine tuned. You can have a real cloudy beer, or it could be crystal clear with this thing. It's amazing.
Well, quality and consistency is a huge part of what people need to do right. I always remember talking to a lot of brewers, and they say, look, the difference with what a lot of home brewers they find when they get into major systems is, not only the automated aspect of the scale levels, but also doing the same beer over and over again, doing it right, having it taste the same way. Talk to me about Funky Buddha. I mean, you guys have just hit it out of the park with all the new beers. I mean, Ryan started out, just making beers in the brew pub, but I mean, I've never heard of a bad thing come out of that brewery, man.
Well, we've worked really hard at it. We've had a good bit of luck as well, I'd say. Luck has been on our side. But, yeah, we've been growing. I think the last time we spoke, that was right after our opening, right after our grand opening.
Yes.
And since then, we've grown exponentially. We're in some 375 bars and restaurants from Sebastian down to Key West, and that's draft only. And we're looking to add package this year. We just signed the lease on a new space, so
space.
we're gonna expand behind us. Another 25,000 square feet. So that's great. That's going to enable us to put our bottling line in, put a lot more equipment. Maybe someday we'll get one of those centrifuges. Got to make a few more beers before that. But, yeah, we definitely are looking up, man, for 2014. There's a lot going on.
How does that work with the city? They were very happy to have you and everything that you've brought since the opening. How has it worked, and how is it, with now you're expanding? I mean, they must be absolutely ecstatic.
Cities, they're head over heels. I mean, we're trying to bring back Oakland Park to what it once was, and really kind of create a new downtown area that's very culinary focused. And we have, we still have a bakery coming in, and there's the urban farm, the hydroponic farm in the park behind us is almost done. We've still got a market that's coming in next door, and there's now a farmer's market every Tuesday night there across from the brewery. So the whole idea of this local community hub where everyone from the area can come in and they can get a beer, they can get a growler to go, they can get some fresh produce, they can go have dinner. It's all coming together in Oakland Park, so we're really happy to be a part of it.
That's fantastic. A lot of people. There's a little Chevron gas station off Dixie Highway that's doing growlers. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And then ABC, they're putting in their first growler system in the Fort Lauderdale store right around the corner from you.
They are, yeah.
And I already talked to the guy, Jamal. He's like, I'm definitely putting Funky Buddha on. It was funny. I was talking to him. And, the thing is that fresh beer now and a growler is going to be such a concept for people. They just have the autonomy to go and taste what beer is really all about and taste the freshness of these beers. And how do you think that that's influenced people that you've seen, Bob?
Well, I just think it's a big improvement for South Florida. Everybody's going to be doing it. I mean, for a football game to pick up a growler or a Funky Buddha beer fresh, and take it home and watch the game. I mean, can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
And we're going to have our own growler station on our place as well. So it's the evolution of craft beer.
It's nice too. Well, people get to taste Florida Beer Company in a growler station somewhere down here as they start to become more prevalent and whatnot, and stuff that we can only get on tap, such as maybe this one next coming up here. What do we have here?
This is our French Farmhouse Ale, and this is the beer that I had a hand in creating, designing. Thanks.
You put your hand in
Which
here?
hand? Left hand, right hand?
Put my hand in the
Cold dead
spices
hand.
first.
La Friamana.
That explains that flavor.
So a French farmhouse yeast. We have some unique spices in there. It's approaching 8% alcohol, and it's going to be featured
feel the
exclusively.
oomph.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Look at the appearance on this.
nice.
Absolutely.
So in March, you'll be able to get this beer exclusively at Epcot Center for the Flower Festival. So that's pretty exciting news.
The Flower Festival. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So, and it is a floral style ale.
Yep,
with
and it
all those
definitely
really
has
wonderful.
some flowery spices in there as well.
But it's more traditional in sense of European hops, East Kent Golding, that type of thing.
Hallertauer.
Hallertauer.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, so more German, noble.
Right.
And just a classic Belgian spice yeast, you said?
Yeah, it
Belgian
was the
yeast?
French saison yeast to be
Okay.
exact, and then we have some unique, flowery type spices
Beautiful.
that I've never actually used before, and I was just shocked how well it tastes. I mean, it's just the spice to me is a big part of this beer as well as the yeast, and I was pretty excited that turned out as well as it did. And thankfully,
Pretty drinkable.
People at Disney
with a lot
liked
of,
it.
the hops don't come through as much as the phenols right off the batter really nice. Pepper, definitely a lot of black pepper in there.
Yeah, it's only
That's a
about
nice
22 IBUs, but the spices seem to balance out the sweetness. Quite
Yeah,
well.
the phenols definitely balance out the maltiness. What do you think, George?
I think it's good. There.
What's interesting about this beer, this would cut through a lot of different, flavor profiles. You could use it to emphasize something like a duck confit or some lamb or something. It would stand up against it and clinch the palate.
Stinky cheese or something
Stinky cheese,
too. Yeah.
but it would also cut through, something pretty nicely,
I
like
think
a nice
we'd
richness.
we'd rather use that on our website than good.
George is
That's why.
fired.
That's why Brett's the host, and I run the controls. I had some really funky pizza from next door. This would have been really good with
yeah?
some like spicy sausage and with a lot of peppers and everything.
Yeah, that
in it.
would really work.
Wish I'd have had this, but
Tied it all in
too late.
together.
Really. Yeah. Next time.
Next
Some
time.
funky pizza from next door. Pizzeria
That's
of ours.
maybe that's a good name for a next beer you do, like Funky Pizza. So anyway, let's take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to get into all kinds of stuff. We're going to have some really interesting new beers. We're going to kind of bring out all the stops and try some interesting funky Buddha stuff. We're going to do the maple bacon porter, which I'm going to let John talk all about. I mean,
Can't wait.
This thing's like rated ridiculous.
X?
It is.
And it is ridiculous, and it's so awesome. And you've had a whole bunch of events about it, and we're going to hear about all that, and we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to drink more beer on our Drink Local Series 2014 when we come back on By the Glass Show on SoFloRadio.com.
Worldwide, baby. SoFloRadio.com. Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now, 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4 week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
Strawberry patch and smoothie. Come
Get your hands off me.
Huh?
I said don't touch me.
I shouldn't have went to that party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you can...
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week.
SoFloRadio.com remains on the air with free archives thanks to the support of our listeners. Help keep us on the air by clicking the donate button on SoFloRadio.com. And thank you for your generous support.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to By the Glass Show. We are a show about beverage culture. Come to you every Thursday at 6 on SoFlo Radio and ByTheGlassShow.com. And you can check out my website with over 200 different archives of all kinds of great, everything that is beverage. We do wine, beer, spirits. We do
They're
it all
educational
here.
shows.
They're educational. Watch me get drunk. Watch me, fool my friends. Tricks. Parlor games. Anyway, no, but we have a great time. We've had everybody in from the best, the greatest breweries, local breweries, like we have tonight for our Drink Local series, to some fantastic winemakers and all the guys who, we had some unbelievable people come talk to us about spirits and whatever. We had Lincoln Henderson before he passed away doing Angel's Envy, stuff like that. I mean, world brand managers on the show calling in. So we've been very lucky, and we want to share all that with you. It's all free. I'm on iTunes, By the Glass Show with Brett Hubbard, and just check it out. Have some fun. It's all about community here. And so I really want to let's talk about the community. Best way to go see some of these breweries. How would you do that? Catch the bus, right? John, you know about the bus?
I do. There's a
Talk to
couple
me about the
buses.
bus.
Yeah, we've got, South Florida's now grown. I guess the craft beer scene's grown. We got breweries down here, and so now we have a couple of brew buses that are actually taking people around to the different breweries on the weekends. We've got Miami Brew Bus. They're based out of Miami, obviously. They take people to our establishment. They go to MIA Brewing, Titanic, and Wynwood as well. And then now we've got South Florida Brew Bus, and they also go to our facility to Due South, and I think maybe a couple other stops as well. So
there are some new, some different breweries coming into Wynwood, respectable guys. People that I think that you guys would find brothers. All the brewers. And I remember Bob sparked it off with me when I first met him. He said, "Brewers are like brothers. We all get along very well, help each other." Mike Hawker, said when he was getting ready, when he was starting, guys from Dogfish reached out to him. Of course, Cigar City, I think, has been quintessential in everybody's
100%.
In everybody's coming of age and becoming very definitely. Where they are today. So, it really is important for everybody to reach out and help each other. And the Brew Bus thing kind of brings it around. So some of these new guys coming in down there, we're definitely going to have Jonathan Wakefield, who we had on the show a few weeks ago. What a great guy, really nice guy. He's going to be down there. And then I think there's another Concrete Beach is another one that's going to be down there too. So as breweries kind of sprout up, these Brew Bus things really are a great way to get around, not get a DUI, and try all the different beers. But these guys kind of have their own beer too, don't they?
Yeah, the South Florida Brew Bus, they're actually run by the guys who do Tampa Bay Brew Bus. And they have a beer line that they do at Cigar City. A red ale, they do an IPA, all very good stuff, and it's all brewed out of Cigar City.
Fantastic. So I love it. I do. Yeah, so we're definitely going to have Mr. Phil Palmisano back on very soon for a Cigar City show. Ed is hooking that up as we speak. I see Phil, that big, tall hunk of man, and he definitely he is the sexiest man in craft beer. There's no two ways about it. And he says he's dying to get back on the show, and we're dying to have him. So, but moving ahead, going forward, Florida Beer Company, Devil's Triangle, completely reworked it, right?
Yep, definitely.
This is the beauty of Bob Gordash, not just that face right there.
Well, I made some suggestions on the hops and the hop technique, but Luke is the one that came in and remade this beer, and we're relaunching it now on draft in South Florida, and it's going to be available in bottles very soon. But what I like about this IPA that's totally different is that it's lighter in color than most of them. It's not really reddish amber. It's very light.
This one's like
golden.
6 to 8 SRM. This one's just like dark, medium gold to like a light amber.
Right. And not only is it light in color, it's a little bit lighter in body. It's very dry. And we're using all the C hops now: Columbus, Chinook, Cascade, Centennial. We're dry hopping it, and it's just a totally different beer, I think, and that's why we have to relaunch it, because it's an amazing, great, refreshing IPA.
Very cool. So, what do you think, George?
I think it's good. No.
George hates IPAs, so it doesn't matter. You can put one in front of him.
Thanks to this show, I've really started acquiring a taste for IPAs. I don't just run screaming from the room like I used to. I'm starting to understand what people like about them. I'm a malty beer kind of guy. But I like my Double Triangle. The souvenir bottle that I have is much larger. It's like my end, the one that you brought in. I don't think you were making them this small, Dad.
Right, just 22 ounces.
Yeah, but no, right off the bat, definitely more aromatics is what this beer needed.
Right.
So you definitely had that going on. And
it's a manly beer.
You can definitely taste the hops, the grapefruity character, the orangey character, all from those Northwest, the C hops, like I said.
Definitely the sea hops. That's very good. So very good. We have the Devil's Triangle, and that is a real place, right? Have you ever been there? You look like you've been there and back.
I've never been on a cruise. I think we've all been through. Devil's
cruising
Triangle.
is totally Corey's territory, man. He puts his robe on, grabs a cigar. You know, I can see him all oiled up with his his sunglasses on, out there picking up the.
Well, for those who don't know,
the women.
Devil's Triangle, another word for it is Bermuda Triangle. So there was a lot of ships, airplanes that got lost at sea and never found, and they blame it on the Devil's Triangle.
Blame it on the devil. That's what I always do. Devil's in the details. All right, so this brings me to some really interesting stuff here. Definitely, people talk. It's all over the internet.
Yep.
This is what really has brought Funky Buddha. You know, it's amazing what a beer can do for your reputation. This next beer that we're going to try has a whole string of events set up around it. Talk to me about this unbelievable beer called Maple Bacon Coffee Porter.
Well, it's kind of the beer that that really almost launched the brewery. We can kind of credit it with where we're at today. We started brewing in Boca Raton at the Funky Buddha Lounge and Brewery in September 2010, and this beer was a beer that Ryan kind of concocted to taste almost like, his idea was breakfast in a glass, make it taste like a roadside diner where you get like a short stack of pancakes with maple syrup and
So
bacon
chicken and
coffee.
waffles beer is next. Right?
Yeah, no, we got a French toast beer. I mean, breakfast is definitely a theme, so this isn't definitely not the last breakfast beer we'll do. But yeah, it was a beer that got really, really popular overnight. He did a small growler release out of the lounge and got traded all over the country. And just the demand and the craze for it, and ratings on Beer Advocate and Rate Beer kind of had him say, "Wow, I got to build a brewery. I gotta take this thing larger than this 40-gallon system I have in back." So that's really what catapulted him and KC to open the brewery. So it was cool that we got to do it for our first bottle release. It's fitting because it really put us on the map, and it got a lot of buzz this time around too, and way more even. I mean, people are trading all over the country and going nuts with it. And
well, I had a buddy of mine. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and I'll bring my wife so I can have this many bottles I'm allocated for me to drink, and then my wife can get this many bottles that I can trade for anything around the country."
Found a use for it, did he?
People are definitely they're trying to get all their money's worth for this for the maple bacon, and I don't blame them. But we had about 4,000 in attendance on January 11th. Had a huge festival. It was a controlled chaos. It was awesome to see, and the response was amazing. We had at 11 o'clock. That's when we released the bottles, or the sale of the bottles. We had a line that stretched all the way down the back of the building, behind all the docks, all our neighbors. Everyone was out there looking like, "Who are these crazy people, and why are they waiting in line for beer at 11 a.m.?" But it was
like
awesome.
Your own little Hunapoo.
It was like Hunapoo Jr. I think Cigar City called it Hunapoo Jr. on their Facebook page. It was pretty funny.
How do those guys feel? Do they come out and ever come to you some of your events and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. There was a bunch of people from Cigar City out there, and they actually sent us a bunch of special kegs that we tapped throughout the day. They gave us a bunch of El Catador series barrel-aged beers, like their Good Gourd Rum Barrel Age and their Guava Grove in Chardonnay barrels, and I mean just some ridiculous stuff that really got a lot of.
I just bought
attention
a pecan pie terrapin collaboration that they put
delicious, yeah, very good.
Couldn't pass that one up.
So we sold 3,000 bottles of this, and we did a limit 2 per person. So yeah, the people brought mules. They brought people that they could buy the bottle for them.
Beer mule, I love it. What do you think, George?
I got one. A beer mule. It's a beer donkey, but I don't call it an ass.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, we released it. It was a great success. And now, actually, this week, since it's South Florida Beer Week, what we've done is we've gone ahead and we're releasing a keg of it every night at different accounts. So Tuesday night was World of Beer Dadeland. Great response there. And then we did Tap 42 last night with the Surf and Turf pairing with scallops and short rib, and it was unbelievable. And then tonight we're going to be at the Locale in Coconut Grove, and they're doing a keg. And then Friday we're at Field of Beers, which is the event before Jupiter. We'll have a keg there, and then we'll have a keg at Jupiter as well, Jupiter Craft Brewers Festival. So it's kind of a maple bacon week for us.
Fantastic. Have you been to Field of Beers before?
I have. It's probably the best beer event.
Bob, talk to me about your experiences at Field of Beers.
This
I
is
know you've been up there.
No, this is actually my very first experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've had the
looking forward
experience.
to it. I'm very excited about
I'm
it.
turned around here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So talk to me about it, if you wouldn't mind.
It's great. What it is it's just this awesome intimate gathering inside Roger Dean Stadium where they only sell about 400 tickets, and it's all food pairings with beers. Fran Andrew-Levitch, who's going to be on the show later, he picks out the pairings and just does a phenomenal job with it. And they've got some chefs that work with them that are really, really talented. And you just walk around through the infield at Roger Dean Stadium and through the dugouts, and they got different stations set up, and you can just get as much beer or as little beer as you want to drink, and all the pairings, and it's just a very nice night out there. prior to the festival. It's really special.
I'm excited. You know, that does a lot for the beer community. It makes beer, as special as it is, you know, it takes it from the level of just that lovely alcoholic beverage that we all know and love to like something that's, you know, very, very magical. That 400 tickets, it's very limited, and I've heard that it's just absolutely top-notch event. So you're excited?
Yeah, definitely. I saw the menu
Talking to
yesterday. As
what are you guys pairing out there?
We're doing the Key West Southernmost Wheat that we had tonight.
Yeah.
And we're pairing it with a flatbread. I can't remember all the details, but it has eggplant on it, some kind of nut, some kind of citrus on it. But the whole thing just looks delicious.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And do they bring chefs from different restaurants? How does it work, John?
Yeah, they do. They bring chefs from different restaurants. I think we're paired with a chef named Roy Villacrucis. He's an excellent chef. He's done a lot of Asian-inspired dishes. Open Up Kapow and Boca Raton.
Oh, fantastic.
I can't remember for the life of me what the dish he's cooking is, but
that's all right.
Whatever he makes.
You can look all this up on the website, right?
I believe it's on the website, yeah. And tickets are already sold out. They sell out really fast.
Yeah, I heard it sold out in... was it either 4 or 40 minutes? One of the two.
Maybe an hour at most. Yeah, they sell
40 minutes.
Now, yeah.
40 minutes. It sold out. It's kind of like, you know, Great American Beer Festival.
Before we get into this great smelling beer over here, I just want credit for finishing my IPA all.
Look
gone.
at that.
Look at
the lacing on that glass.
I think
That's
I
phenomenal.
see hair growing on your chest.
That's right.
As you speak.
And on my teeth. Meanwhile, back to the smell of this.
All right, so
this
John,
will
break it down for us. Give us, you know.
So this is maple bacon coffee porter, and basically
little cold.
Yeah, it's a little cold right now.
But it's okay. I'm just saying, like, you know,
put some hands around it and warm it up a little bit.
Hands around the water.
Wanted to do it in a wine glass. Sorry, I broke
No,
up
this
the
is
nice
beautiful.
All right,
This is exactly the way it should be.
So this is basically what it says. It's we've got some nice maple syrup in there. You'll catch that in the aroma and right in the flavor up front. A little sweetness.
The real maple.
And yeah, real maple syrup we put in there.
Beautiful.
And then we've got some coffee. We do a lot of nice, real, fresh, locally roasted coffee. And then it finishes with this smoky saltiness, which a lot of people ask, hey, do you really put bacon in? And it is 100% vegetarian. It's not vegan because we use a lot of lactose in this beer for the body and the richness. But yeah, we do a blend of spices and different savory elements.
Who's
and
your
smoked malts that
local
make it.
coffee roaster, if I may ask? Because I live next door to one.
He's out of Boca Raton. I wish I knew his name right now.
But you locally source the coffee?
We do. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the guy roasts it locally and brings it over to us fresh the day we're going to put it in there.
We had a coffee show once. The guys over down by Broward General. I forgot what it's called. Do you remember? Remember we did that?
No, I
show?
don't.
We've done so many shows, but we had a coffee show, and these guys were like master roasters. You know,
and I think that was the one show I missed too. It was,
okay,
big into coffee, and
they were master roasters, and it was pretty cool to see all the different aspects of coffee, and you know, different beans, different grades, how many different roasts you can have. It's kind of like malts. Beer is to malts. You know what I mean? The difference in malts. You know, you can have chocolate malts. You know, Munich malts, Vienna malts, and they all make different beers. You know, the color of beer is dictated by the malts, of course, you know, for people at home that don't know that. And the coffees are very similar in their roasting styles. They all start out as green beans, and then as they're roasted, and of course where they come from in the world, you know, dictate their flavor profiles. And I'm sure that you've picked the perfect coffee for this beer.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's been brewing this beer for just about 3 years now, so he's kind of got it down to a science, what level of roast he likes, what kind of bean, and he goes pretty wild with it. And we get it fresh the day that it comes in, and then we throw it right in the tank. So it's
appearance-wise, it's exactly as it should be as a porter. What's the ABV on it?
It's 6.4%. It's not going to knock you off your stool.
Not going to knock you. So
it's got a really thick, viscous body to it, a lot of legs, and just that really intense maple syrup.
So technically, does it fall into the robust porter, or is it still brown porter at 6.4? I think it's kind of right on the border there.
I would think it would be kind of hard to categorize this beer. It's just such a kind of amalgamation of different things.
Right.
We're like that.
Specialty.
We just put stuff in beers.
But as you agitate it, and the beautiful, wonderful small bubbles that come up. I mean, it's just a wonderful carbonation. I can smell it from here.
Yeah. Coffee's very dominant. Definitely.
Coffee's dominant on the nose. The aromatics.
It's delicious. This is a fun.
Thank you.
And it's a really nice, intense roast. Almost like I get nutty notes that come from it, almost like hazel. That type of thing that come out of it from a really wonderful cup of coffee. And just absolutely exceptional. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We're all kind of smacking.
Wow.
Strong. I'd expect it to be strong with all the aroma like that. But it's not. It's very light.
Very light body, but packs flavor punch.
It's balanced. I mean, we like that kind of viscous mouthfeel to it, but it doesn't.
Well, I mean, for what you would expect, most porters.
It doesn't leave you with that really
six and change. You know, you expect it to be. But
this has caffeine in it, right?
I would imagine so. With
So
the
it's
coffee
like
in there,
Four
yeah.
Loco, you know. Worried about getting in trouble like
drink
that?
a bottle of this before you go to the club, and let's see what happens.
I'm all for it.
I'll let you know.
You'll smell like maple syrup. You'll get the certain kind of people coming over.
Canadians.
Exactly.
It works. I usually rub it behind my
It's
ear.
it's crazy
Time of
because
year.
it's like such an amalgamation of flavors that all work so good together. It's kind of like I'm having trouble picking one out. I mean, coffee's prevalent, especially on the aroma, but then when you get it to your mouth, it's just like good, right, George?
It is. That's very good. Hey,
it kind of
my
falls
word.
into good category. I mean, it really is exceptional, and I'm having trouble picking out one specific thing.
It is
we
very
go
balanced.
we go for a nice balance of all the flavors, and what I like about it is like kind of when you finish, it finishes. It's sweet on the front and finishes savory.
Yeah.
It hits you right in the back of the mouth and makes you kind of want to take another.
I want to
sip.
drink this with breakfast. I mean, it's got
it's
maple
savory, but it's
bacon and
also fluffy to the
coffee.
point to where it kind of falls away. And it's
Yeah.
light. It's not cloying. It's not inundating. This definitely. I mean, so talk to me about some of the sites and how it rates high and how all that kind of that part of the world. Are you familiar with that kind of thing, Bob?
Well, they rate beer and Beer Advocate and all that.
Yeah,
Sure,
I
of
mean,
course, yeah.
I mean, like
It's one of the reasons why I wanted to get Southernmost Wheat out there because it's one of the beers that's highly rated on Rate Beer Advocate. The Alstrom brothers anyway rate it very very well.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of this stuff. Most of the stuff from Funky Buddha is highly rated.
Beer trading tends to go on Beer Advocate, correct? There's like a whole section for it, or how does
Yeah,
that
there's
work?
a lot of forums. There's Facebook. People do a lot of different avenues for it. But I feel really fortunate that people like this beer. I think the name of the beer, when you put bacon in the name of anything, I think people go crazy, right? They're like, bacon, I gotta have it.
Well,
So I wanna
George has
trademark the word
bacon
bacon.
flavored bacon.
I do. I have a bacon collection, like bacon drink tabs and
Sure.
gummy beans, and
He's got toilet paper that looks like bacon.
Do you eat it, or what do you do with that?
I have underwear that looks like bacon, but I didn't buy them that way.
He's got a girlfriend that looks like bacon. No,
I've got a stuffed bacon pillow, and you squeeze it, it says I'm bacon.
Hold on
Oh
a
my
second,
God.
though. We had a
Serious.
gentleman in here who does the production for Channel 10 WPLG,
Yeah.
and he was here for was
Bacon
it-
Fest?
No,
No.
for the when you shave your head for charity.
Oh, yeah.
St. Baldrick's.
Right.
Great, really great charity, and they were doing it over here, Mickey Burns, and he had a bacon costume for Halloween,
Yeah.
which was second to none. It was crazy. He had a picture of it, and it was awesome, and it was like, how did you do that? Anyway, so yeah, people do love bacon.
People love it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think if we have a beer, that I would say bacon isn't the most predominant flavor in this beer. It kind of
You
finishes.
know what?
bacony.
Honestly, to me, it's not.
It's not. But I think the beer is, hopefully good enough that people try it and doesn't feel gimmicky. They like
do-
it and they want to have another
Yeah,
one. So
no,
that's
absolutely.
been our success, I think.
You
with
do
it.
pick up that smoky character too, probably
Yeah.
from the maple syrup. And every time I use maple syrup, it tends to leave a smoky character afterwards.
We
That
use
probably hints to the.
We use some
bacon.
smoked malts and stuff in it,
Oh, do you?
as
Have
well.
you ever
yeah.
used maple syrup? Because
Oh, yeah, I love
you've been
using
home
maple
brewing
syrup.
for
Yeah.
and doing. I mean, you had the Mac House for God knows how
Yeah,
long,
right?
right?
I love using maple syrup, but it's so darn expensive.
It is. It's
Right?
super expensive.
Even with all my relatives in Canada, I still can't get it cheap.
They had an illegal maple syrup trade going on up in Canada for a while there. People were.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also, too, this beer is very cold once again. So as things tend to warm up, you really do pull out a lot more.
This is
nuances
definitely
and stuff.
colder than I would usually serve it. We say on the bottle serve at 50 degrees, so
Yeah.
this is probably
But,
38 right here.
Yeah, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm definitely.
It's great beer.
Thanks,
I
guys.
tend to think that some porters for me, of course, they're just straight up porters or even, robust porters. A little bit, when they get into a little bit too much of that acrid finish. And this here has just got just enough to bring you to the point and falls right away. It's actually wonderful. And you've had some really great stuff going on around this. What are some of the other things? Like, what's another? I mean, we tried the Bonita Applebaum. What else do we try? What else is like? How do you guys think about what's coming out next? Like, what do you think the next? I mean, what do you think the next maple? Bacon porter.
We've had a couple beers that have really that have been successful for us that we've tried, and generally how we do it is we take a small amount and we'll tap it in the tap room and see how the response is. And one of those beers that was really really successful for us was our Blood Orange IPA. That was super successful. People loved that. I
You're a
hope we
big
bring that
IPA
back
fan.
soon.
Yeah, and I had that beer. It was really good.
And it just had a nice citrusy quality to it, and really it tasted like orange juice and IPA mixed together. It was just really really. and that's what we aim for. When we try to make a beer, we say it's going to taste like something. We want it to be bold and flavorful and have that flavor to it. So there's been that, and then recently at Maple Bacon Coffee Porter, the release day of that, I don't know what we call it. I don't want to call it Maple Bacon Coffee Porter Day. That just sounds a little too bitey, but we called it Festival. Maple Bacon Coffee Porter Fest is what we called it. So at that, we did a beer called MBCP. Yeah. We did a beer called What's for Breakfast, and it was a French toast double brown ale, and people loved
Okay,
that.
now that sounds like the next one, right?
Yeah, so that might be one we'll do again in a bigger quantity, and we've had a couple real big successes. People love our triple. We did a triple Belgian triple with oats and corn and wheat and candy sugar, and that was phenomenal. And now we're doing it with different iterations with raspberries and blackberries. We're actually tapping a cask. Our first cask that we've ever done on Friday at the brewery, and then Saturday we're going to tap another cask of it at Das Biergarten right after the Jupiter Beer Fest. So,
all right. Wow.
We're just rolling with new stuff all the time.
That's
we try
great.
to have things.
Speaking of new stuff, you guys are putting some casks out too, right? I mean, definitely come down. I know you had a English Pale Ale style.
Yeah,
right?
we had a number of them, and most of them were debuted in Tampa. We launched them in Tampa. We served one in Key West, the last Key West Beer Festival, and that was like 11.5%. Double IPA. I'm trying to remember what we put. We put bourbon barrel chips in it. Ooh. That was pretty unique, and unfortunately, I wasn't there to try it.
Talk to me about your lager, Florida lager. I mean, it's very hard, and we'll get into this with Funky Buddha when we're done. To make a production lager because it takes a lot of tank space, it takes up time.
Right.
What are your feelings on Florida lager? And there's not a lot of good lagers coming out of Florida breweries.
Yeah. Well, it's a great transition beer. And we really have to have a beer like that in South Florida. For the hotels, the poolside beer bars and things like that. It's a great German style lager, and it's amber in color. It's got a little bit more flavor than Yuengling, and it's a great lager. We got plenty of tank space, so the time and the tank space is not an issue anymore.
That's what we want to see from Funky Buddha coming out. Some of you guys put a bright tank for some lagers.
Yeah, the first lager that we ever did, we just did. 3 weeks ago, we did a collaboration with Tequesta, Fran, who's calling in.
Yes.
We did a lager called Polish Hammer, which is a ridiculous name. And
Fran makes a hell of a lager.
Yeah, he came in and did all his work with decoctions and all that stuff on the system, so it was really cool.
He's great.
But it's at 8.3%, and he used all Polish hops in it, so it's got this really earthy, spicy characteristic to it, but intense. And
I was just reading about Polish sour beers. Somebody, I can't remember the name of it. All those words are very hard for me to remember, but I was just studying up on it. Somebody just got one. I was walking out. I was looking at, it's some guy just got one. He was like, he posted it on Facebook, and he was like, thank God it finally arrived. Like, he had to get it through the smallest little distributor in the world, and he waited 3 months, and he got one keg of this crazy Polish salt beer. It's almost like a Goes type of Polish style, though.
It sounds like maybe the next Berliner Weiss. People bring it back and start brewing it or something.
Yeah, definitely. Well, everybody's into Goes and Goose and all that types of Berliner Weiss and all the sour beers. Like I said, with Jonathan coming in and everything, we're going to see a whole nother. And I just want to see all you guys collaborate and make fun and interesting stuff. And I want to see
see them dance.
Right? Okay.
Give us a couple more Maple Bacon and Devil's Triangle.
This stuff's pretty strong, man. It's starting to get to me.
It's yummy.
It really is.
We got a nice collection of bottles on the table here, guys.
We do. We got more to come. Yeah, no, Fran, I went into Tequesta. I was with one of my favorite people in the world, Mr. Rich Novak from Brooklyn Brewery, and we visited Fran, and he gave us he had made a Belgian Kolsch, which he added maize, a little bit of flake corn into, and he used a Belgian spice, and it was really nice and light. It's a phenomenal beer. He also had a really cool Bohemian Pilsner that he had that he decocted once, that he had back in the, and he's sneaking back there, and he's like, he brings us out 2 pints, and there are 2 little glasses, like, check this out. It's a full stash beer. The guy makes amazing lagers.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, definitely. So he's going to be calling in at 6:45, hopefully. So you want to take what do you want to do? I mean, we got.
It's 6:44, so I think we should just.
We'll stick it out.
Drink some beer and talk
definitely.
about the bacon that you.
How many people show up at?
How much bacon do you put in here?
Jupiter is definitely a pretty good event. I mean, you've been up
huge.
there.
It's my favorite beer festival period in Florida.
Really,
it's a great beer
fest.
fest.
Great beer fest. And it's craft beer people. That's the thing. The people that come to
Yeah.
your booth, they don't come to your booth saying, "Hey, just give me a beer, any beer you got." No, they come specifically to look for something unique, different, anything that's treated, special. Or
You're talking about like they do in the beer festivals down here, where they walk up to the booth and
What's the
say,
latest
"Give me
beer
any
you
beer
got?"
you
Right.
got."
Yeah.
Just
Give me whatever you got.
Give me the beer.
They throw bread at you.
Right.
Say, give me anything, right?
He's into the beer festivals here, I can tell.
Well, we used to do a lot more beer festivals, and my feeling, which I'm sure yours are too, for the most part. I mean, unless they're drunk fests, and they can get a little out of control, and it'd be nice to regulate them a little bit more to do festivals that people that really appreciate beer come to.
Right.
Go, Bob.
I was just going to say that I'm sure Funky Buddha is going to be bringing some unique stuff to the beer fest itself.
Well,
And when I was with Holy Mackerel, we just weren't able to do that. We just had our 2 beers and maybe 3 of Mac and Black. But now this beer fest, we're going to have our white IPA. We're going to be launching that at the beer fest. We're going to have a milk stout. So we've got a lot of exciting things. It's all showcased there.
The white IPA named 3, 2, 1.
3,
You're going
2,
to
1.
be launching it at the beer fest. Jeez, is that written down or what? Fantastic. So,
What? Yeah, no. Keep
what?
going.
Huh?
We can
No.
keep going.
No, I don't mean
We have
that.
one-
I thought maybe Fran was on the line. So.
No, I wish.
I want to give him a good introduction.
I'm watching.
When you were talking about lagers earlier too, Luke's favorite beer style is a lager, and that's what he's great at making. So you're probably going to see some really unique lagers coming out from our brewery.
Luke,
Luke, our brewer.
like 2 Live Crew, Luke.
Yeah.
I heard he wants to start a brewery. Now, isn't he involved? Like somebody told me that Luke from 2 Live Crew.
I think he's got some beer or something.
Yeah, he does. He really does. I'm not kidding. he wanted to get involved with SoFlo Radio and actually come in here and promote. But he brings in like a whole posse full of women and everything.
He's quite a personality.
I think it's called Bling Bling Bacon Porter.
Worked with his niece at Power 96, Baby Bree.
Oh, did you really?
Sweet person. Yeah, nice.
That's cool.
He
Baby
writes for
Bree.
New Times, I think, too. He's got a column in the Miami New Times like every week or every other week or something, too.
You used to be Clean Play Charlie, one of the
way back in the day.
contributors, right?
I am Clean Play Charlie. Yeah.
Oh, you are. You are Charlie.
I'm Charlie. Yeah, that's what my aunt used to call me.
Oh, really?
When I was a kid, yeah. She said, "You better clean your plate. You'll be Clean Play Charlie."
So how did you? So other people still write under that moniker, right?
Yeah, well, we launched the blog. It's the food blog for Broward Palm Beach New Times, and then Short Order is the food blog for the Miami New Times. So I worked on launching both of those really.
That's cool.
When I was at New Times, but since
That's
I
great.
moved on, that's their intellectual property, if you will. So yeah.
None of the same people over there. Jackie's gone, and so was.
They're all new people over there, but they're still keeping it on.
Fantastic. Well, I would really like to introduce now to everybody Mr. Fran Andrulovich. He's the founder of the Jupiter Craft Beer Festival, and a good friend of mine, and the guy makes great beers, and he's also a brewer at Tequesta Brewing. Welcome to By the Glass Show, Fran.
Thanks for having me, guys. How we doing?
What's up, brother?
Oh, same stuff. Staying busy.
I know you're busy, and I really thank you for taking your time to call in. Of course, we have, the usual suspects here, John Lynn and Mr. Bob Gordash here. We're all sitting here drinking some great beers.
Shady at best.
Fantastic. So we'll let you talk a little bit about, what is Jupiter Craft Beer Festival, where it's come to, how many years it's been around. Give us a little history. Take us to present.
Okay, we're 8 years into it for the Jupiter Beer Fest. This will be the 6th year for Field of Beers, the Friday event. The Jupiter Beer Fest, we started the first year, we did 1,200 people. This year, we're going to do 3,000. The last 4 years, we've done 3,000. We limit it. We have 60 breweries that come down. Field of Beers, we have 16 breweries, 16 chefs, and we limit that to 450 people, and that's the 6th year, like I said. So that started at 250 people 6 years ago.
Unbelievable. So how do you pick these chefs? You hand-pick them? Are they people that you've worked with before?
Yeah, we start with a core chef, and he works with 3 other guys, John Carlino, and then he comes up with a basic menu, and then I start from there. It's great because the brewers, including Funky Buddha, they will bring, different beers. They'll say, hey, we have 5 beers, and Bob as well. They'll bring 5 beers. Here's what we have. I get the menu, and the fun part for me is I get to bring the food and the beers together. So I have a choice of, 100 beers that I can get, and chef starts with the menu, and then I can take it from there and say, chef, we need a little more heat here. We'd like to add this to that, and we take it from there, and it all comes together.
And do you feel it's more exciting every year with all these great new breweries coming online and everything more that it has to offer? I mean, it just gives a whole new face to the festival every single year. Don't you agree?
Oh, big time. Yeah, this year, for example, at the Jupiter Craft Brewers Fest, we have, of the 60 breweries, we've got 33 that are from Florida, whereas the first year of the 26 booths we had, it was I think we had 9, and there might have been 33 in the whole state at the time, 8 years ago. So, yeah, it's great. The selection, the beer level is ridiculous, and everybody at Jupiter always brings something special, which we appreciate.
That's fantastic. Talk to me a little bit for people at home, what to expect, ticket prices, how many will be sold, all that kind of stuff, just the pertinent information.
Okay, yeah, so Friday's obviously sold out. Saturday is the online tickets were sold out about 2 weeks ago. So if you show up, it opens up at 1 o'clock, $35 cash at the door. If you get in line, you're 99% sure you're going to get a ticket. We leave the line open for about an hour, and that's about 1,500 people. So a little trick to do is show up around 1:30, and then you'll only have a half an hour to wait instead of getting there at 10 in the morning.
Brilliant. Hi, live
Only
music.
for your show. That was a little special gift to the show.
All right. I remember last year or the year before, I can't remember, we had really great guys doing like Grateful Dead covers and like Sublime covers. What's the live music and all that going on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got 3 bands playing, and across the street we also have Crafttoberfest. So for the wives that want to take their husband and drop him off, they can go across the way. Literally across the street, 20 feet away, sit down. We have a German band that plays at Epcot, and they're just nice, chill, relaxed German-type thing. Let the husband have a couple beers, drive him home, and listen to his mayhem after that.
That's perfect. Fantastic. So many great beers, too many to list, and just a wonderful time all over. Talk to me a little bit about Tequesta since I have you on the line. I was just talking up your beers. I was out with Rich Novak earlier today, and we were just, singing the accolades that are Fran, of all the great stuff you guys make up there. What's going on with Tequesta?
Well, Tequesta, we just completed our 3rd-year anniversary, which was 2 weeks ago, and was a great, unbelievable turnout we had here. We had a tent out front, which the village of Tequesta wasn't so pleased with, but we were. So that got a little slowed down there later in the evening. But the beer level was great. We saved beers, for all year. We had oak-aged barley wine. We had, Baltic Porter, beers that we've been saving all year. So we bring out all the big guns on that day. We had 6 different casks. So the anniversary was a huge hit. Going forward, we're looking at putting the brewery down on PGA Boulevard. We're pretty firm on our location, which I won't divulge at the moment here, but I guess it hit the paper today. But hopefully in 8 to 10 months, we're going to have another brewery, which will be twice the size of what we're doing now. Right now, the Tequesta location is 3,200 square feet with 11-foot ceilings. That one is 5,800 square feet with 15.7-foot ceilings. So we're pretty excited about that. So more capacity, possibly get into a canner and a bottler and go from there. But, yeah, business as usual. Business is just ridiculous. If you've been up to Tequesta, it's just a great crowd up here. We're setting up for the Beer Fest. Just walked in the last half hour. Casey Hughes with the new Coppertail Brewery over in Ybor. Bob Sylvester from St. Somewhere. Tom from Thomas Creek just came in to drop off beers. So we're sitting here sipping a couple beers right now, and everybody's really getting fired up for the festival.
Yeah, definitely Coppertail. I've heard pretty tell of them. Yeah, they're definitely the buzz going forward. So fantastic, guys. 8th Annual Jupiter Craft Beer Festival. Join us Saturday, January 25th, 2014 from 1 to 5 p.m. Roger Dean Stadium in beautiful Jupiter, Florida. Fran Andrulovich, thank you so much for calling in to Buy the Glass Show. Everybody go out and see Fran.
Cheers,
it is
Fran.
a great, great time.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you this weekend.
All right, buddy. Take care. Wow, what a great guy. Love that guy. Definitely, and if you want to get up to Tequesta Brewing, right up there, it's literally in Tequesta. You get up on the A1A extension there and take you right over the bridge, and you're right there. And good times. He's such a hospitable person. He'll take you through all his beers, and really has a passion for the arts. So fantastic. Let's break into some other different beers, huh? We'll just take it on through. I don't care.
Good,
Yeah.
because I want some more beer.
All right,
I'm
so
ready
there you
to
go.
drink more.
You got the Mariana Trench.
Mariana Trench.
Mariana
here, yeah.
Trench. Okay, so. You guys know Mike Hawker, right? You guys know
Absolutely.
Due South. Talk to me a little bit about that. If you know.
I know they
speaking
just
to-
released this beer this past Saturday.
Okay.
I didn't get to go myself. I was
gonna be chilly,
doing
but-
another event, but it was from what I understand, a fantastic turnout, and they
Has
they
anybody
sold a
tried
ton
this
of
one
bottles.
before?
I haven't personally had it. I've heard great things about it.
Good. So it is an Imperial Stout.
Yeah, Imperial Stout. I know they did a whiskey barrel infused version, but I don't think that
This is not the
this
whiskey
is not
barrel
the whiskey
infused
barrel
version. This is the
yeah.
straight up version. So we'll pour a little. Georgie?
One of my favorite
Yes,
styles.
please.
Yeah, Imperial Stouts are,
Wow.
are wonderful. They're complex. They're rich.
I like beer I can't see through.
There you go. They're just amazing beers. Here you are, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
That's
How
great.
much- yeah, perfect. There we are. Very nice. All right, a little swirly swirl. Yeah, beautiful. Right off the head, right off the bat is just wonderful. Really nice. For an Imperial Stout, that's a pretty lively head, to be honest with you. Usually it'll,
Ooh.
nice head, and then it'll fall away a little bit.
That's good.
Some lacing.
Nice, rich,
Interesting,
thick
really
body.
fresh, yeasty notes off the nose.
Yeah,
What do you get?
Almost got some hoppiness to it.
It's good.
Definitely got a great aroma.
That is the term of the day.
It
really is. I get a really nice sweetness from the malts, from the roasty, and then a little bit of hops. But I get fresh yeast too, which is what popped right out at me.
That is
got
sweet.
Some nice, sweet balance to it. This is a real thick, rich imperial stout. I could see this going well in a whiskey barrel for sure.
It's not as heavy as most of them are either. It tastes a little bit dry, and I pick up a little bit of almost a tartness on the side of my tongue. That's probably from the hops, though.
There's a deep concentration of malt flavor, but then it does fall away. It's not as heavy. The dried fruit, vinous grape, that kind of thing doesn't concentrate in the very end. I get almost like an interesting molasses or
It is very molassesy.
right
Yeah.
at the very end.
Right.
This has cocoa and vanilla beans in it.
Okay.
actually.
Those tend to come through in the 3/4 palate, but in the end, I get a lot of molasses and they're really
Yeah,
nice.
I definitely taste the cocoa now.
Yeah. Wow, this
Everybody's-
one's yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, wow.
Everybody's
Shut up,
everybody's
shut
sitting
up.
there on. And really
We're
enjoying
trying
this beer.
There's a myriad of flavors going on here, and it's the first time we've ever tried it. The beer is super freaking cold. So guys, if you know at home, I mean, generally we have to bring our beer around in coolers. It's not 20, 25 yet, where we have temperature coolers that we can just keep all our beers at
Why not?
50 degrees.
Let's
so
go
they're
get
perfect
one.
tasting temperature.
Let's invent one.
We have to basically have it's a good invention.
A cooler with a thermostat built into it. What's wrong
Yeah.
with
Do you
that?
think that they'll ever create something like that?
Let's do it.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, because
Well,
that way you can.
Let's not
taste-
wait. Let's do it. Create it. I bet you it'll sell.
It would sell because you need one in order to taste
Especially
beer.
for
right?
these beer convention people
Yeah, I mean-
and the beer tastings and things.
Well, yeah. The thing is that basically, in order to have a beer, you can always make a beer. Well, even beer on tap has to be a certain.
They have
degree
electric
in order
coolers
to pour
already.
correctly.
So just get a good thermostat. Get an electric cooler with a good
Well, but a
thermostat.
bottle beer in a thermostat, conditioned cooler would be a good idea.
I think so.
George,
Let's do it.
yeah.
Let's
Do you
just-
got
let's
capital,
do-
George? Because we could just run
Let's
right
do it.
out.
Let's do it right now.
Okay.
Patent it. The SoFlo
Beautiful.
Radio by the
Fantastic.
glass cooler.
I love it. So, what do you think, man? This is
Delicious.
pretty
I love
good.
it.
It's nice, really good. Really good.
And an interesting
Oh,
name.
it's a sipper.
Yeah, due south, man. When we first met Mike and he came in, that was funny. I was like, "So you were homebrewing and now you're working on the system?" He's like, "Yeah, I just did it, man. I just did it, And he's like, "I had a couple of problems with my equipment, but my fellow brewers helped me out, took it to the next level." He's up there in Boynton, making it happen, and very, very cool.
I had another beer from them just the other day. One Night in Ybor, I think it was.
Yeah, that's their old fashioned.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Just a little hint of orange to it. It was
I think
nice.
they did that with
Dark?
Cigar City. I want to say.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
These collaborations are fantastic. Very cool. Any collaborations coming from Florida Beer Company down the line?
We just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Too much to do with the tasting room, get everything else going.
Now,
Some
you
new
guys,
beers coming out.
I think that once you're up and running,
Right.
there'll be a lot.
Right. And then we're definitely going to be doing some Firkin, some barrel aging, and all that. It's all in the lineup. It's going to happen. Just a matter of, getting to that point.
Fantastic. Yeah, you guys got plenty of room for a barrel aging room up there. In the property, you have a lot of room to just you can hold freaking concerts and stuff on that
Definitely.
side.
Yeah,
So-
we can do a little hoedown. Easy.
I like a little hoed down every now and again.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. So what do we got here? We got some more beers.
Yeah, we got more after
we
this.
have more. Absolutely. Would you
Excellent.
mind going and grabbing? I think in the cooler, please.
It's a UXO, right?
Yeah, there's a UXL, and then I also have a Miami Brewing Company can, which is, believe it or not, there's a beer. There is a brewery down in the south of Florida called the
Yeah.
Miami Brewing Company.
Coincidence?
And it is another local brewery. Yes, and they put out recently. They're the ones who make that Big Rod Coconut Ale, which it's an interesting golden ale, which I definitely quaffable with a nice coconut finish. Beers that are fruit, spice, herb, somewhat. It should just be a good presentation of beer with just a nice, not that one, with just a nice. It's in the refrigerator. I'm sorry, it should be right in the refrigerator with just a nice nuance, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, you guys are.
We're a different story.
You're a different
We're
story.
a bad person to ask. We want everything to hit you in the face. That's our kind of mentality. But everybody's got their own, that's the great thing about breweries is they all have different attributes to it. And they're breweries that...
The problem with coconut is if it hits you in the face, it's just like, whoa, too much.
Too much coconut.
Yeah,
It depends on the ingredient. You always want to be balanced, and that's kind of what we struck for with maple bacon, for example. But, good.
Interesting. So, okay, so here we have an Imperial Red Ale, which is an interesting American
From due
Imperial
south?
Red Ale. Yes, from due south. So if you think about it, what is an Imperial Red Ale? It's not an IPA. It's a red ale that's high ABV and high alcohol to balance it. So I'll pour a little for George.
Thank you.
It seems to come out a really nice amber.
It's a nice color. Nice smell too.
Beautiful amber. Here we go.
Thank you.
And this is kind of like one of those nouveau American styles. So interesting American whole cone citrus hops. I get like,
It's very light.
I get like fruity, like Citra or Simcoe-y type of nose
Yeah, it's,
on
it's
this.
67 IBU, 8.1%, so definitely some hoppy character to it.
Yeah, the aromatics off the nose are really nice. 8.1%. Definitely.
Low in carbonation, almost like a cask conditioned ale.
Well, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Funky Buddha and definitely Florida Beer Company for coming on. We want to thank Ed Roberts for putting the show together, and everybody, Due South and Florida Beer Company, and definitely Fran. Everybody, it's been a wonderful, definitely celebrate South Florida Beer Week. Get out to Jupiter Craft Beer Festival. Get the Funky Buddha. Go check out Florida Beer Company up in Canaveral. And thank you so much, guys, for coming on.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody drive
having us.
and have a wonderful evening.
Yummy
Talk to you
beers.
soon.
Thank you.
Oh, do not drink and drive.
Don't drink
George.
and drive. Not
Georgie.
not today.
Streaming live from the beautiful city of Hollywood, Florida, USA. This is SoFloRadio.com.